Good evening, I'm Ian Hanomansing. Tonight, extreme measures in the wake of extreme weather.
We are prioritizing access to gasoline for a short period of time.
In parts of BC, a limit on travel and gas, and the desperate efforts underway to build back Abbotsford's dike before more rain comes.
That dike has been weakened. To what degree, we do not know that.
Vaccines for kids are coming this weekend.
Thank goodness. They had taken long enough to approve it.
So we brought in the doctors to answer your questions.
What is the difference between the adult and children's vaccine?
Kyle Rittenhouse acquitted of all charges after killing 2 people during a protest over racial injustice. And how a lifelong dream came true for 2 strangers.
We made it.
This is The National. Days after floods forced thousands from their homes and shattered road links, the province has turned to extraordinary measures. Millions here in BC have now been told to ration gasoline.
It's 10 to 11 days where we have to pull together. If we do that, we will succeed. If we're greedy, we'll fail.
Gas stations in several regions will need to make their supplies last until December 1st. And until then, people are being asked to limit their gas purchases to 30 liters at a time. Tonight, we continue our comprehensive coverage of this fast-moving story. Susanna De Silva is in Chilliwack, where residents continue to face floodwaters. And Katie Nicholson is in Abbotsford, where the race is on to fix a failed dike. And let's start there. Katie, what's the latest where you are?
Yeah, I'm just outside a gas station in this area, already dealing with flooding. Now, this new gas ration is sinking in. Freddie Roush's Jeep was on empty when she heard the news.
And I'm usually sloppy with gas and I'll kind of push it. I thought that's not a good idea today.
One of the millions of British Columbians now subject to this flood-related fuel ration.
People in southwestern British Columbia, Vancouver Island, and the Sunshine Coast will be limited to 30 liters per visit to the gas station.
If I do it and 90% of the other people do it, we're not going to run out, are we?
Emergency and essential vehicles will have access to fuel, and they'll need it in the frantic effort to shore up the Sumas dike. As this steady stream of trucks cart rocks and soil to patch a 100-meter breach in the dike, overhead the steady beat of choppers. As soldiers survey the work ahead before the next deluge.
Our system will take that. What I don't know is the integrity of the existing Sumas dike. We've already found some weaknesses. It hasn't let go, but it could let go 10 minutes from, or maybe even as I'm here.
The mayor is confident that the breach will be filled by Tuesday morning when more rain is expected. Farmers in this region have learned firsthand how fast and unforgiving these surges are. Beneath the brown water, the 40,000 chickens one farmer had to leave behind.
I left the lights on and the power going. I didn't want to turn the power off because they would suffocate. So nobody wants to see these birds die.
There are nearly 700 evacuees in this area, including Amber Ziganash, waiting for days now for the roads to open so she can go home to Calgary or take a much longer route through the north.
I'm terrified because I keep hearing it's snowing, all the routes that I could possibly take. I'm just terrified. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I hunker down for the winter, get a job, I don't know.
Now, add to the uncertainty whether she'd even be able to get enough fuel for the drive home.
And Katie, on those fuel restrictions, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering how the province is planning to enforce the gas rationing.
Well, right now, the Minister of Public Safety is just asking people to do the right thing, but this is a fluid situation that could change. Now, the other thing that happened is travel advisories or restrictions. So parts of key highways were cleared and are now open for essential travel only, and that will be monitored by police and with fines.
All right, Katie, thank you. Now, that dike near Abbotsford, if it isn't repaired in time, water will flow eastward into neighboring Chilliwack. And Chilliwack is where Susanna De Silva joins us from tonight. And what are you hearing, Susanna, from people there?
Well, that is what people here are worried about, but tonight they are trying to focus on helping each other, and that is what you see behind me, all of those sandbags. Dozens of volunteers have been working since late last night to fill up sandbags. They're in this parking lot. People can come and get them. A little while ago, an elderly lady came asking if she could get some sandbags. She not only got sandbags, she got volunteers who went to her home to help her set those up, and that community is what people are focusing on, trying to protect tonight as they worry about how much more water might come. There is urgency behind their efficiency. A dozen dump trucks of sand have been bagged already.
Yeah, I just wanted to help out my community.
The community is rallying together so incredibly. So there isn't something that isn't getting done. If someone's hungry, there's food. There's bakeries on the front line. There's sandbagging. It's just continuous.
Right now, we're kind of overwhelmed by a lot of help.
This local pastor has been helping organize, giving an outlet to those worried as water here continues to rise. Water is flowing from the western part of Abbotsford east to here. This whole area is part of a massive lake drained to create fertile farmland. Now the water is returning.
I think a lot of people do really feel overwhelmed, but I think we're just trying to focus on what we can do instead of what if questions.
And trying to help is all many can do. Guides have been rescuing people and ferrying others up and down the Fraser River.
We're out here every day, and all we want to do is help. Nobody's asking for anything. Nobody's asking for money. Everyone's just basically donating their time and money, fuel, just to get people home safely.
Today, Transport Canada issued an interim order limiting boat traffic to essential activity. But that worries people like Wendy Morrison, who hitched a ride to go for her cancer treatment.
I would miss my appointments, and it's vital that I get there. So I appreciate their help. Without them, I wouldn't be there. So.
Evacuees are also frustrated by the restrictions on access.
Just getting medication for the cattle, because it's hard to get. Their Chilliwack vets don't have enough to sell.
But the worry over what's been left behind hits hard.
Well, I almost threw up, I guess, so yeah, kind of gut churning, I guess, right? They're talking weeks, right? So we're planning to put our kids in different school, because we won't be moving back here for a long time.
And that is a sentiment many here are feeling right now. Many here are worried about how long it is going to take, even if they do stop that flow of water, how long is it going to take to get the water out that is here now? What are they going to find underneath? And of course, that's without adding any more water to the problem. Ian?
All right, Susanna, thank you so much. The weather has made cleanup efforts a little easier over the past few days, and it's expected to be good through the weekend. But after that, things are expected to change. The rain is set to start on Monday night, but Wednesday through to next weekend is when things really pick up, with some parts of the Fraser Valley seeing an additional 100 millimeters in the forecast. The good news, it will fall over 5 days, and it's not expected to reach the record-breaking levels seen earlier this week. But considering so much water already on the ground, some areas could be vulnerable to more damage. For some parts of the province, the focus is turned to recovery and the price tag associated with fixing the damage left behind. Thomas Dagla looks at how extreme weather events like this one are changing where that money could come from.
Marcus Harvey's basement is filled with reminders of the flooding that's become a recurring ordeal.
2018, this is how high it was. So we had to replace all this wood.
When New Brunswick's St. John River bursts its banks, Majorville is all too frequently inundated. So a decade ago, when Harvey was planning to build a new house on his property, he got bad news from his existing insurer.
Head office has essentially drawn a big red circle around the floodplain where you are, and you were going to get dropped anyway. So essentially, pound sand, no insurance for you.
His family eventually found another broker, but his case highlights a growing fear among Canadian homeowners as climate change-fueled extreme weather takes an increasing toll.
Insurance is meant to protect against an if, not a when. And once a loss becomes, this is going to happen with a certain degree of certainty, insurance doesn't work anymore.
What's known as overland flood insurance has only been around for a few years in Canada, but millions live in areas that make them ineligible for coverage, including most of those affected by recent storms in BC.
The flooding crisis prompting the province to offer disaster relief to those who couldn't get coverage, as the industry calls for public money to help fund private insurance too.
if we want to open flood insurance up to those individuals, we will need a partnership with government, and that's going to require us to rethink how we pay for this.
As for Harvey, he got government help, but doesn't want his tax dollars subsidizing private insurance.
It's a money grab, and it's unfortunate that that's what they're doing. It's passing, it's passing the baton off to the taxpayer.
As climate change strikes, insurers warn claims are growing, and now rates could climb too. Thomas Dagle, CBC News, Toronto.
Turning now to a new pandemic milestone in Canada, Health Canada has, for the first time, approved a COVID vaccine for kids aged 5 to 11. It is a smaller dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, and they'll arrive here in a couple of days. As Vicadopia explains, the benefit will extend beyond children.
Rise up! They're among the millions of young Canadians who, as of today, are eligible to get vaccinated against the coronavirus.
Thank goodness. They have taken long enough to approve it. I can't wait.
The timing of the approval is critical. Kids under 12 are testing positive more than any other age group. Vaccination reduces their chances of getting sick and infecting others more susceptible to severe illness, a risk that's kept families apart.
I don't have any family in Canada, and my children haven't seen any of their cousins. They haven't seen my grandmother.
Health Canada confirms in a clinical trial, the Pfizer vaccine was over 90% effective at preventing COVID-19 in children between 5 and 11.
The department has determined that the benefits of the vaccine outweigh the potential risks.
Kids could begin getting their shots in just a few days.
Canada will begin receiving doses Sunday, with all the 2.9 million doses received by the end of next week. That's enough doses to offer a first shot to all eligible children in this country.
Now comes the delicate job of persuading parents who are still unsure. In one of Toronto's least vaccinated neighborhoods, public health volunteers encounter questions and hesitation.
They're concerned about if it's kind of painful, or if they get fever or something, or how safe it is.
They're also reminding parents this could help children return to normal.
We're going to have less outbreaks, less school closures or classroom closures, and that will give a bit of stability for kids, because a lot of kids in the past 2 years haven't had it.
The National Advisory Committee on Immunization recommends extending the interval between the 2 pediatric doses to 8 weeks from Pfizer's recommended 3 weeks, which means children wouldn't be fully vaccinated until the new year. Vicadopia, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, to talk more about this, let's bring in pediatric infectious disease specialist, Dr. Fatima Kakar in Montreal. And Dr. Kakar, this 8-week gap between the first and second doses for children, why is that?
So this is a common question we've had today. So it's important to realize the difference between Health Canada and NACI. So Health Canada looks just at the trial data, which is just what Pfizer submitted, which was this 3-week interval. But NACI's job is to look at their experience with vaccines, immunology in children, and a lot of real-world data. And so based on all of these other data, NACI is making this recommendation because it looks like that longer interval actually provides a longer duration of protection and a stronger duration of protection. And it will minimize the risk of side effects. So potential side effects like myocarditis might be diminished when we have this increased interval. So it's really a safety and really to increase the effectiveness over time.
I'll bet a lot of parents immediately looked at the calendar, did the math, and realized that that means that their kids won't be fully immunized by the Christmas break. Does that concern you?
No, I really think this is a smart decision because we're going to minimize any potential risks of side effects, and kids have a strong, really robust immune response. So I'm really confident that really after this first dose, they will have a strong degree of protection. And I think it's really in the best interest of kids that we have this actual delayed interval.
And there are so many more questions that parents and kids have. And so stick around. We'll come back to you and another pediatric specialist later on in the program. Thanks.
Thank you.
And we did get some interesting questions.
I want to know if the vaccine hurts.
Is there an advised waiting period between the flu shot and the vaccine?
What is the difference between the adult and children's vaccine?
And that's just a taste of it. Dr. Kakar will be back along with Dr. Jacqueline Wong with some of the answers. In Kenosha, Wisconsin tonight, people are hoping for calm after a dramatic day in court. Kyle Rittenhouse shot and killed 2 men and wounded a third as the city erupted in protests against racial injustice last year. Today, he was acquitted on all 5 charges laid against him. They included homicide, attempted homicide, and recklessly endangering safety. Susan Ormston shows us how it all played out.
Cleared of all charges, the jury accepted Kyle Rittenhouse was defending himself, prosecutors failing to prove, as they had to, that he provoked his victims. The fact he was underage and carried an AR-15 rifle to a protest wasn't on trial. The judge had dismissed the weapons charge.
He's on his way home. He wants to get on with his life.
Rittenhouse had become a symbol, a hero to some for the right to armed self-defense.
Justice served! Free Kyle! That's right!
I was very pleased. It's just. That's what makes me want to be an American, is to get just verdicts from jurors.
The trial was political, the reaction deeply divided.
What some may take from this verdict is that vigilante justice prevailed, and that's a serious public safety concern.
I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not. I'm sad.
The family of Anthony Huber, one of the men killed who tried to stop Rittenhouse with a skateboard, said they were heartbroken and angry. Today's verdict means there's no accountability for the person who murdered our son. Lawyers say the case was tough to prosecute, especially after the wounded man testified he pointed a pistol at Rittenhouse. And after the defendant himself broke down on the stand.
Take a deep breath, Kyle. Had to put him on. We had a mock jury, and we did 2 different juries, one with him testifying, one without him testifying. It was substantially better when he testified.
The Kenosha protests erupted after a black man, Jacob Blake, was shot 7 times by a white police officer. Blake's uncle today angry.
We deserve to march and rally peacefully without having our supporters murdered in the streets.
Kyle Rittenhouse, now 18, is free. Kenosha is hoping the verdict doesn't provoke more violence. The National Guard on watch tonight. The tumult of this trial won't fade easily. President Biden said the verdict will leave many Americans angry and concerned, himself included, but that the jury system works and must be respected. Susan Ormston, CBC News, Washington.
In this country, protests are being held in several cities in solidarity with Wet'suwet'en hereditary chiefs. Demonstrators taking to the streets of downtown Toronto today, and in Winnipeg, dozens gathered at this busy intersection. In northern BC, the RCMP have arrested at least 14 people and have cleared a road leading to a natural gas pipeline project. The company behind that project, Coastal GasLink, has signed deals with elected Indigenous leadership, but hereditary chiefs say they have not consented to the project. There was a major reversal overnight on a policy that sparked global protests. The government of India has backed down on its controversial farming laws, and the jubilation reached all the way to Surrey, British Columbia. For nearly a year, thousands of farmers in India have been protesting laws they said would ruin them. As Salima Shivji shows us, the celebrations have been mixed with caution and hope India's Prime Minister will keep his word.
The cheers rang out across the sprawling protest sites that thousands of India's farmers have called home for months. Pure joy after so much protest, camping out in difficult conditions. The victory especially sweet since it was so unexpected. India's Prime Minister took to the airwaves addressing the nation, surprising many by announcing he's repealing 3 controversial laws that drove tens of thousands of farmers to protest for nearly a year. Laws the farmers said would put them out of business in favor of large corporate entities. The government spent months repeating the laws were necessary to reform the industry. Today, a different tune and a major about-face from a leader who's not used to backing down.
It dents the image of a prime minister, which has been carefully crafted, the image of a strong, decisive leader taking hard decisions, impervious to critique.
But many say the steely resolve of the farmers and their push to target an election in a key state, Uttar Pradesh, started to shake the government.
They wanted to basically, lower down the narrative, which is that this is a government which is anti-farmers.
Pure electoral logic, he says, in the face of stiff opposition from a cohesive group that holds political sway. The farmers, while jubilant, are also wary. They say they're staying put in these massive protest camps for now. We'll only leave when the repeal of the laws is official. We want it in writing, farmer Jaswant Singh says. Even if it takes a month or two, they've waited long enough anyway and succeeded in pushing the government to concede. Salima Shivji, CBC News, London.
Drastic measures are being taken in Europe tonight as COVID cases surge. Next on The National, new lockdowns, new restrictions, and a new warning for the unvaccinated. How the bison helped unearth a piece of sacred history in Saskatchewan.
I was trying not to have a heart attack is what was happening.
And a bucket list wish and an adventure of a lifetime.
We made it. We made it.
Made it, finally.
How a shared connection brought two strangers together on a remote island in the North Atlantic. We're back in 2. Welcome back. There's some good news tonight for fully vaccinated Canadians and permanent residents looking to take a quick trip outside of Canada.
Canadians taking short trips of less than 72 hours outside of Canada will be able to return to Canada without having to take a molecular test.
That starts November 30th. The government says travelers taking shorter trips carry less risk. There have been calls to eliminate the PCR test requirement entirely since the border reopened. Europe's COVID story is worsening tonight. Countries are bringing back lockdowns to get record-breaking surges under control. And in Austria today, mandatory vaccinations just became a reality. Chris Brown takes us through it.
In most of Europe, COVID has never been this bad. In Austria, where police had been ensuring only vaccinated people used public spaces, today, dramatically, the government ordered a 20-day national lockdown for all. Too many among us have shown a lack of solidarity, said Chancellor Alexander Schallenberg, chiding those refusing the vaccine and becoming the first country in Europe to mandate the shot by February. It's not much better in neighboring Germany, which is now seeing more than 65,000 new cases a day. Christmas markets in cities such as Munich have been ordered shut. And dealing a potentially crushing economic blow, Bavaria's winter ski season is in jeopardy. It's a big financial loss, said Volker Neuroth, who's just seen 65% of his Christmas reservations evaporate. 1/3 of Germans remain unvaccinated, and many regional governments have now effectively banned those adults from restaurants and businesses. Blame the early end of mask wearing and other protective measures, says this World Health Organization official.
Last week, Europe saw the highest number of COVID-19 cases at any time during this whole pandemic.
In the Czech Republic, there were protests about singling out unvaccinated people for special restrictions. The further east in Europe you go, the lower the vaccination rates. This is a Romanian hospital working at full capacity, but Bulgaria and especially Ukraine are bad too. The WHO says there's a warning in all this for people in North America.
What we tend to see in Europe tends to occur afterwards in other regions. And so I would take this as a very cautionary tale.
Compared to earlier waves of COVID-19, mortality rates are much lower now because more people are vaccinated, except in Eastern Europe, where deaths are worse than ever. Chris Brown, CBC News, London.
Now that it's been approved in Canada, we asked for your questions about the COVID vaccine for kids.
What is the difference between the adult and children's vaccine?
Can we expect an annual booster for this vaccine?
Why is there a need to vaccinate them?
We'll get some answers from our doctors next. But first. After a 6-year hiatus, Adele released her new album, 30, today. Sunday on The National, the superstar's interview with the host of Q on CBC Radio, Tom Power, in a Canadian exclusive. Here's a preview.
The last song I wrote for it was Hold On, which was a week before lockdown. So then I had to sit with this bloody record for a whole year. And I realised in it that all the inner turmoil that I was going through, and I spent a lot of time on my own in 2019, like, you know, just at home. And hearing my friends in 2020 tell me what they were going through and stuff like that, and being forced to sort of look inwards because they had no one else to look at, mainly, like, you know, because they'd be on their own. Yeah. I was like, actually, I feel like the process that I just went through might actually be quite helpful, you know, and everyone needs a soundtrack. You know, every day of life needs a soundtrack. So if anyone wants to listen to my album and it helped them on their journey, then great.
A Canadian exclusive with Adele, Sunday on The National. Welcome back. With Health Canada's approval of the Pfizer vaccine for kids under 12 finally announced today, parents and children have lots of questions, and they've sent some of those to us. So we brought in 2 pediatric infectious disease specialists to provide some answers. Dr. Fatima Kakar joins us again from Montreal, and Dr. Jacqueline Wong is in Hamilton. And Dr. Wong, let's start with you and this question.
I'm Yashi Murphy. I have 2 kids under 12 years of age, and I have been holding off on giving them the flu shot because I was concerned that if they did get the flu shot, there would be a delay in them getting the COVID-19 vaccine. Is there an advised waiting period between the flu shot and the vaccine?
So with today's announcement, NACI has recommended, especially with the initial rollout of this vaccine, that people wait 14 days between the COVID vaccine and any other vaccine, or in whatever order you choose to do it. And it's mainly so that it's easier to monitor for any side effects that might be related to the COVID vaccine. So that's the reason for that period there. It's hard to know exactly when the rollout date will be, especially for different parts of the country. So it's not unreasonable to go ahead with the flu vaccine, and that way your child's body has a chance to build immunity to it while you're waiting for the vaccination clinics to open.
And Dr. Kakar, next question to you. This is from Yashi's daughter.
Hello, my name is Akira and I'm 10 years old. I want to know if the vaccine hurts and if I fall sick, can I stay home from school?
Okay, well, the vaccine will hurt a little bit, but usually by the time you count to 5, it's over. And the side effects, so your sore arm and things like that, are actually much lower in kids than they are in older adults. So in all likelihood, you'll be able to go to school the next day or that same day.
Yeah, so let me follow up, Dr. Kakar, on that, because one of the things I found really interesting when adults were getting the vaccine is how different they reacted. Some people were kind of flat in bed for 48 hours, they would report. Others, it's almost like, you know, nothing happened at all. Could we expect the same kind of range of side effects, I guess, among children?
I think we're actually going to see lower side effects. So because the dose is specifically lower, they actually should have less of those systemic effects. And the side effects we usually see are actually after the second dose. And so by delaying the interval, we're likely going to actually have less. But we will probably see a range, as we did with adults.
Yeah, interesting. All right, back to viewer questions. And this one for you, Dr. Wong.
Hi, I'm Wendy, and my question is this. If the symptoms for COVID-19 are generally mild in children, why is there a need to vaccinate them?
This is a very common question that we're getting. I think there's 2 things to separate. So first of all, of course, we want an effective and safe vaccine that's available for children. But in terms of a family's individual decision to decide to go ahead with it, it does need to be an individualized decision kind of based on that child's medical history, as well as some of the concerns that that family might have. So, you know, if for the family, this pandemic has been very stressful and they haven't felt comfortable letting their kids interact in society, this vaccine is an important step forward for those families. Similarly, if there are other members in the household that might be more susceptible to severe illness, sometimes having the kids get their vaccination and preventing or further preventing that virus from entering the household, that might be another reason why families might choose to go ahead and get their children vaccinated. But you're right. Thankfully, we've seen that the severity of the illness in kids is quite low, thankfully.
Yeah, really interesting answer. This is the easiest interview I've ever done. I'm just playing the role of traffic cop. And Dr. Kakar, this next viewer question is for you.
Hi, I'm Gwilyn from Burnaby, BC. Can we expect an annual booster for this vaccine, similar to the annual flu shot that we get?
Sure. So in all likelihood, I say in all likelihood, we probably will. Now, everything changes with COVID, but until we have global control of this virus, it's going to continue to circulate, and so we will have waning immunity. So I will say most likely we're going to need an annual booster until we have it under control essentially everywhere.
Yeah, and I like your disclaimer, right? There's so much about this that we're learning as we go and things change, but yeah, that's the sort of best answer as of right now. And just to change up the order a little bit, Dr. Kakar, let's put the next question to you as well.
My name is Chakar from Valemount, BC. My question is, what is the difference between the adult and children's vaccine? Is it just the dose, or has the vaccine also been updated to offer a higher efficacy against new variants of the virus?
So there are a few differences between the doses. So the dose is smaller, so it's 10 micrograms as opposed to 30 micrograms. The formulation, so the buffer, the solution that's used is different because it's more stable in kids. And the final amount that we actually administer is going to be different. It's 0.2 versus 0.3 mLs. And the vials are different themselves, so they're the orange tops versus the purple gray. But the actual mRNA that we're using is the same, so it's the same level of protection that the adults have had. It hasn't changed or been modified for Delta.
I love the fact that you know all those numbers and even the color of the cap, so it's going to be very clear which dose goes to who. The next question goes to Dr. Wong.
Hi, I'm Patricia, and I'm a concerned grandmother of kids 5 years old and younger. I'm wondering if children 5 to 12 get as sick with COVID as older children, and what you can tell me about long COVID in children in that age group.
These are great questions that we're getting this evening. So again, thankfully in kids, we're really not seeing the same degree of severe illness as we're seeing in adults. And certainly with the younger age group, so in this case, we're talking about 5 to less than 12, their illness tends to be quite mild. And we're talking about like acute infections with COVID and not some of the complications that sometimes kids can get. With regards to the questions about long COVID, that's a little bit harder to answer because there isn't a very clear and consistent definition for COVID, and the studies that have been done are quite heterogeneous. But what we do know, like other viruses like the flu or even mono, there are some children who continue to have symptoms after the acute infection is gone. But what the other reassuring piece is, most of these kids will work through those symptoms within the month or a few months after the infection and do just fine afterwards.
We have a minute left, and maybe I'll ask this final question to each of you, Dr. Kakar, beginning with you. If a parent walks in the door and says, I have some doubts about this vaccine for my kid, how are you going to deal with that?
So first thing, it's really important to know that there's no urgency. We can take the time to have this discussion. And we're going to go through the risks and the benefits. And I really want to explain to them the multiple benefits that are going to be there for their child and what we've done to really minimize the risks. So bottom line, there's time to have this conversation, and we'll be discussing the risk benefits for their child.
And Dr. Wong, anything you'd add to that?
At the end of the day, we want families to feel comfortable and confident in the decisions that they make, and also realizing that what they feel comfortable with now may change. So making sure we have a good working relationship with our families so that as new information comes up or new questions come up, you know, our door is open to have these conversations again.
I know you're setting aside time to answer those questions among your patients, and we appreciate your time this evening. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
When we come back, an adventure, a lifetime in the making.
It's unbelievable. It really is. Beautiful.
How a shared dream brought together two seniors on a remote island off the coast of Nova Scotia. If COVID has taught us anything, it's that life is precious. And as we hope the worst of this pandemic is behind us, many have decided to resume traveling. For two Nova Scotia seniors, that meant visiting a place few of us will ever get to see. Tom Murphy takes us along as Norma and Betty head off.
You could argue the pandemic has been hardest on seniors. So vulnerable to the virus, many living in fear, often in isolation. This is a story about two of them who've decided enough. More about their most excellent adventure, a lifetime in the making, in a moment. First, a life lesson that even Norma Kennedy, 83 years young, needed reminding of. And the pandemic did just that.
But when you're faced with a pandemic and the restrictions that it imposes on you, you realize that a visit from a family member is so much more important. I have two great-grandsons. This is one of them. The other one's over there. I had 3 great-grandchildren born during the pandemic, which I didn't get to see. I think if nothing else, COVID has taught us to value what we have.
Across town, 79-year-old Betty Soller, a complete stranger, a very familiar realization.
I guess we didn't appreciate what we had until it was gone. It's almost like being locked up in jail. All of a sudden, here we were, couldn't go anywhere or do anything.
There's been a lot of time to miss family, those alive and those who've gone before. Like Betty's grandfather, who lived a life of adventure on a distant island she's always wondered about. So is this the lighthouse that your grandfather tended?
Yes.
Sable Island. A place of mystery for so many, 300 kilometers off Nova Scotia. A sandbar, really, out in the Atlantic, home to countless shipwrecks and hundreds of wild horses. A place where Betty's father was also born.
And there's nobody left to find anything more out about it. I wish I had asked more, but when you're a kid, you don't think about those things, you know.
How a trip to such an exotic locale few get to see would make her feel.
Well, I'll be able to connect by seeing it, being there. I'll be able to connect what they talked about, see what he saw. Certainly give me some closure. Something I always wanted to do.
For Norma, seeing the horses of Sable Island has been on her bucket list since she was a kid.
I can remember going to bed at night thinking about those horses on Sable Island. You know, they had to be a very special breed to survive. I thought, I wonder if there's any possibility I could get to go to Sable Island. I believe we should do what we can do in this life. We're only going this way once.
And so now, back to that trip. A charity called We Are Young that grants seniors wishes put the two ladies together and flew them to Sable Island.
Fantastic. Yeah.
We made it. We made it.
Made it, finally.
To make their dreams come true. And those horses, they don't disappoint.
Wow. Just incredible. It's unbelievable. It really is. Beautiful.
The waves.
It's better than I ever imagined it could be. This is gorgeous.
The wind.
The wind keeps blowing me. I feel like I'm drunk sometimes.
And the wonder of it all is pretty good for the soul.
There's a feeling of solitude and peacefulness here that you'd never get anywhere else.
It's almost like you're on the moon or something. It's just different altogether.
And then?
I wonder whose house that was. Sort of in the lee of the dunes, out of the wind.
Betty discovers the place where her grandfather's lighthouse once stood.
Where my dad was born, and my grandparents lived for at least 3 years that I know of, 1919 to 1923. I finally made it.
A walk in her father and grandfather's footsteps. For Betty, a much-needed trip back in time.
I feel a special connection to this place because of my dad and my family. It takes me back a little bit. I wish you were here with me.
see why he wasn't lonely. It's such a beautiful place. It's special.
And maybe in the end, that's the moral of the story. Life can once again take you places, if you let it. Heck, you might even make a new friend along the way. Take that, COVID. Tom Murphy, CBC News, Halifax.
Next, how an archaeological treasure came to light in Saskatchewan.
I looked down at my feet and I saw the top of a boulder protruding through the ground. The bison had uncovered it.
That story straight ahead. A heritage park near Saskatoon is home to Canada's longest running archaeological dig, but its most recent find may be its most significant. And the way it was discovered, well, that's a little surprising. Bonnie Allen now, and the excitement over some very old, very meaningful Indigenous art.
Just outside Saskatoon, the Wanuskewin Heritage Park preserves history in the present, honoring the traditional ways of life for Indigenous people. For more than 4 decades, Chief Archaeologist Ernie Walker has been uncovering and preserving prehistoric artifacts.
Little did I know, 40 years later, that all of this was going to come crashing down on me. In a nice way, and in a wondrous way, really, but who knew?
Nearly 2 years ago, bison were reintroduced to the land after a century-long absence. And as bison do, they began rolling and pawing at the ground.
I had surveyed that area earlier and saw no boulders. I mean, there's rocks everywhere, but not a petroglyph.
Leave it to the bison to find one.
We brushed it off, and much to my surprise, there were more grooves, and I realized we were dealing with what is known as a petroglyph. I was trying not to have a heart attack is what was happening.
Actually, 4 engraved rocks with cultural and spiritual significance, embraced as sacred by Elder Cy Standing.
We need, that our history to be told.
At a press conference, the park's Cree CEO called it a gift from the bison.
To know that they're so linked to our spirituality and our culture as Indigenous peoples.
And this finding couldn't come at a better time. The park has been building its case to become a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's also been touted as a possible location for the Pope to meet with residential school survivors if there's a future visit to Canada.
We have something precious here.
In the meantime, elders and archaeologists are wondering what else these bison may dig up. Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan.
Imagine looking at that rock and wondering who it was when they created that art. Well, from beauty found in the ground to a moment in the skies. Well, a couple of photographers enjoyed the longest partial lunar eclipse in almost 600 years. Next. So what were you doing at 4 a.m. this morning? Probably sleeping, but some dedicated stargazers were out to take in a historic sight. They were enjoying the longest partial lunar eclipse in 581 years and lining up the perfect shot. 2 photographers take us through their moon moments.
It's been like a week back when the discussion started about this unique opportunity of lunar eclipse. Yesterday night, a lot of photographers, just like me, decided to go out and take pictures. We were just waiting for that opportunity whole night. This was their first opportunity to capture a lunar eclipse, and it was a memory I know that I will recall for the rest of my life. Everyone is astonished by and amazed by the pictures I shared with them.
So this time I was out by myself. So I got up at 3 a.m. and I noticed that it was clear. My heart was super happy. And then I just went out there, and even though it was nice and cold, even though my hands and toes were freezing, I was still enjoying myself. And there's nothing like it, seeing the moon red, orange, and just covered in the shadow.
I love how reverentially they describe it. It's almost spiritual. I wouldn't get up at 4 a.m. for that, but clearly it was worth it for them, and the pictures are beautiful. That is The National for November the 19th. I hope you join me Sunday for Cross Country Checkup on CBC Radio 1 and News Network, and later that night right here for The National. Good night.